Hey, we've got an exciting new episode for you. A little different than the previous ones we've been doing with the buggy build and a few other things. But we're going to be taking this guy here. That's a 65 Beetle we've had staffed away for a bit. We got about a year ago or so. And we're going to take out this nice 2332 magneto and close ratio gearbox. We built this thing, well, we bought the car and then we put the mechanical in to build a street strip car. Took it down the track last year. We had mixed results with street tires and had some magneto problems, and there's only one evening, and that's typical drag racing. You sit there and you tinker and tinker and tinker until you find the magic combo. And then it sat all winter, and it's time to move it along. It's time to sell it, and we'll get into what we're going to do with it. But it's a 65 Beetle, restored, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, paint. We bought it yellow like this. What we've done is we detailed the cookie cutters that I had on it. We put four-wheel disc brakes. Cleaned up the interior. It's brown on brown, looks good. Put a couple gauges in there, but pretty much it had these bones when we've got it. About 10 years ago, a friend of mine bought this, and we actually did four-wheel disc brakes, and he put a big monster motor in there too. And then eventually, a few years later, he sold off some of the goodie parts to other Beetles, and then he sold the rolling chassis to another friend of mine who put a 2-liter into it, or a 1915, 1955. Drove it for a number of years, and then other interests in life got in the way, and he eventually called us and asked if we would be interested in buying this car. And we were, because it's really a solid 65. The paint is probably a 6 out of 10. It's got a few nicks in here, and painted, they didn't replace the rubber seals when they painted or anything like that, but it looks really good, drives really good. And this episode, we're going to take out the running gear because we want to keep that for another street strip car that we want to build down the road. And we're going to go back to stock transmission, and this is the long block here, 1915, 1955, something like that. CSP valve covers, and vintage speed shifters, all sorts of goodies ready for it. And there's even a vintage speed shifter or an exhaust up there. So that's this episode. Stay tuned as we dismantle the heartbeat out of it, put another one in, and do the swap, and then take it for a good drive and get her ready to sell. You can see, that's still the big motor, finally gonna get at it. Like that, very clean underneath. It's been gravel guarded at some point. Short axle car, tan, all looks really nice. Like I said, older restoration. Looks like a MP narrow beam, I would think. Looks like probably a 2-inch beam. Adjusters, drop spindles, I'm assuming. Disc brakes, 5x130. Inner splash pans look really good. Doesn't look like they've been worked on. And I would say the same on this side. Still see some of the original dimples. So very solid car underneath, especially. So now we'll yank out this heartbeat and put in something else. So you can see it's big 2332 into engine bay. Everything gets tight, so carbs, manifolds, all got to be removed to get the engine down. Probably fan shroud too, I think, to get the engine tin over the seal. We do have carb windows, but I was too lazy to actually access them. So slowly peeling things out. A little bit of electrical down below, obviously the main 4 bolts, and then I gotta figure out this breather system, where that's all going yet. And then try to fight this thing out of there. Hopefully the exhaust can come out with it. I know sometimes it gets a little tight in there, but we'll just keep going, keep seeing what we can figure out. Okay, we're gonna get this one out. You can see how tight it is again. We do have a carb window, and it might help me a little bit, but I think I can probably do it if I grab the right socket. Put a big engine into a small car, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Yeah, it is fun. But it's not necessarily fun doing the install. There we go. And last thing you want to do is drop a nut into a place and then have it go into the engine, and because eventually that will be open. Not yet. And that's been done many times. Dropping a washer, a nut. You lose count. You don't remember it. You put washers on. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know.
How do you know?
Because I've done it myself many times. It's like, uh-oh. And you hope it went into a good place, not inside the motor. It would also be helpful if I could see something. Good grief, man, these glasses are useless. Oh, you hear that fall?
Yep.
Clip here we need. This is very important too. Oh, where'd it go? Okay, well if we heard it fall, then we know it happened. That tool. Please hold that for a second. Two washers I gotta pay attention to. One, two, magic. So these are called 48 Webers, made in Italy. That's what everybody wants, right? The Italian Webers. Yeah, we went through them. They were rebuilt.
And so why is there the cut there?
That cut was just to clearance on the breather box. So I guess at some point that was needed, I guess, but they are really cool carburetors, just not going to be what we need on the next one. So we'll just put the hats back on. And now we'll fight to get that manifold out, which there's still a nut down there that fell off somewhere, but we'll find that, hopefully, and keep on going. He gave me 11 millimeter ring.
So is that like fiberglass then?
Yeah, that's fiberglass. We're going to blame Uncle Art for this, but it looks like we got 14 or 15 mil bolts, 15 mil socket. We got the exhaust off. See that sitting over there. And now, again, because it's a big wide motor, we got to take the fan shroud off and cylinder tin, and then basically the long block pops off. Just how we do it. We could probably, maybe we could get it. If we didn't have the seal, we could maybe get it out, but we do have a seal, and it's nice to have a seal, so we're going to try to keep the seal. So that is next, and then one motor is out. And it's out. After maybe a few bad words, had to take valve covers off to get a little bit extra clearance again. Again, it's all part of big motors and get a little bigger, a little wider. And so now we will take out our fuel pressure rag and we'll take out our breather box, because that doesn't help the next guy with a stock motor. And there's no oil filter mount down there, but engine bay's clean. And maybe we'll put a tar board on there to make it look good and hide a couple holes. But that will be next. So this is the transmission, just a stock swing axle, nothing special other than it was quiet and shifted well. Came in the car originally, we took it out to put the close ratio transmission in, but going back to what it came with. So just gave her a kind of a quick reseal and gonna get at it. So that's the engine kind of put on a pallet so we can put it away for storage for the next one. Working on the engine tin for that 1600. Just got it on primer. Again, just generic aftermarket MP engine tin, fan shroud, all the other pieces there, cylinder tin, and front plates, tin, pulley tin. Anyway, we're going to make it brown so it kind of goes with the motif. So it's going to end up looking like the motor we took out, but just new tin, and we'll leave the big motor all together with it. So, and with the magic of time, it is painted. So, metallic brown, the same as what the other tin was on the big motor. That should make a good looking engine bay. And it's just time to bolt it onto something. Let it dry and bolt it on. And this is the motor going into the Beetle. Vintage speed exhaust. It's a 1915. It came with the car when we first bought it, but it was having some internal issues, so rocker geometry was wrong, so it wasn't right, so we dealt with that. And it had a different exhaust, but we're going to put heater boxes back in. What you see in the tin that's painted, and we'll get that hanging in the car shortly. Really close for a second. I'm stuck in. I'm just about started. Starter bolt.
Starter bolt can't go on because no starter. So just there's a nut right there, and 17 here. Get one. What it is. Lauren, let's. Well, I just don't want to hear where I'm gonna bash my shins.
Well, let's put it near that pallet, and then we can. Eventually, I want to shrink wrap that, but that's kind of all kind of a set. Eventually. We need a bat. We're gonna be able to get that rear tin on there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's not easy, but you gotta wait till the cylinder tins are on anyway.
So we've got update here. We've been working off camera. Got the transmission in, disc brakes on. We had to readjust the spring plates. It was just not quite for us. You can see the motor starting to take shape. Still got to do electrical and get a fuel pump wired in and then spark this thing up. Slowly we'll keep tinkering at it, and eventually it'll be running and driving down the road. And with that, we have tin in. Messed up a little bit, painted the wrong piece because we don't have heat risers. You can see those holes there, but originally we were going to put a 1600 in, but that is not what we have now. So we'll keep on going.
Parts.
Yep.
Okay. Try. Yeah, got fuel.
So we are finished. See, we got it tuned in. We had to play around with the fuel for a while, but drained the tank, bad gas. Looking good. Oil pressure, oil temp gauges. Turned out good. Turned out good. Ready for somebody else. Good oil pressure. Dual carbs have such a distinct sound, huh? Mm-hmm. Especially in a Beetle. And here's the finished product. Again, 1965 Beetle. And picked up, looked kind of like this. We just did a lot of detail work and smoothed out some of the rough edges. But good solid driver. You know, something to cruise around in. Got 1915 dual carbs. Again, interior's really clean. Rust wise, the body is fantastic. Paint is, you know, 6, 7 out of 10. It's got shine, it's got some nicks, it's got some dents, but at the stage where you just wouldn't be afraid to drive it anywhere. Really nicely detailed cookie cutters. I know not everybody's dream wheels anymore, but you don't see them as often as you used to. And yeah, it turned out really nice. But yeah, it's going to go up for sale soon. So if you're interested, you can always get a hold of us through the messages. But yeah, beautiful car, beautiful day, beautiful background. Thanks for watching.